The Great Lake is one of Utah's most iconic and important ecosystems. Our own state capital is named after the lake. Unfortunately, water levels in the lake have been declining in recent years. In 2022, we saw the lake at record low elevation. These declining water levels threaten economic activity, public health, and the great ecosystem. The Great Salt Lake provides Utah with the highest density of wetland habitat for plants, brine, shrimp, reptiles, amphibians, mammals like the iconic bison and birds. Additionally, the economic output of the Great Lake is $1.2 billion annually and provides over 7,700 jobs. It also provides a significant amount of magnesium, salt, and other minerals. Nearly 2 million tons of minerals are extracted from the lake every year. As you can see, this is why it's so important for me and the entire state of Utah. This year, Utah saw a record amount of snowpack in our beautiful mountains, which helped our water levels across the state. However, just 1 year is not enough. We need at least a decade of record snowpack to help us through our drought and our water levels throughout our state. That's why we need to work with our federal, state, and local partners to help preserve the important ecosystem and to allow Utah to continue to be the fastest growing state in the union. In the last water bill, we began working on this partnership, and I want to continue this partnership in most innovative ways. But we need to have the corps to recognize the importance of the lakes, especially the Great Salt Lake. For both of you gentlemen, I'd like to, first of all, thank you for being here again. I've heard from our state partners that we have been informed that it will take nearly a decade for funding from the corps to reach the Great Salt Lake. This is frankly unacceptable. How can we work together to expedite this process?
Thank you for the question. First of all, share your perspective. I had an opportunity last January on a very cold day to get out with your Director of Department of Natural Resources and spend some time talking about this very issue. And at that point in time, that was before the hydrology had given us a year's reprieve. But I share your views that time is of the essence here, given the challenges. So we have entered into a planning assistance to state agreement with the state of Utah, I think a couple months ago. And the idea here is there are several different authorities, not just for the Corps, but also Bureau of Reclamation and other agencies. And what we're trying to do is work with the State Department of Natural Resources to figure out the best game plan and how we can use our respective authorities, Reclamation, the state, and the Corps of Engineers. So the Planning Assistance to State Agreement will help us do that, make use of the tools that have been enacted in the most recent WRDA bills, combine that with the Bureau of Reclamation's basin study that's going on now where they've engaged a bunch of stakeholders, and that's the idea. So we're in the planning, development, organization stage, but we're going to make use of those authorities, ultimately, Congressman.
That being said, is there any way that we can have some nexus, some I see to the table as you guys have this conversation, particularly Utah? I would love to know more of what you're doing here. Is there anything we can do to kind of help facilitate that or be part of that process?
Absolutely. I think the key is to keep the delegations informed. We would be happy to provide ongoing updates as part of this process.
I appreciate you do that. I think we would definitely have an interest in that. I've heard from the Sacramento District and the state of Utah that they are still waiting for headquarters to provide planning assistance to states funding for these projects. Is that what we're dealing with right now then?
Yeah, we've got the agreement in place, and I know we have resources provided by the bipartisan infrastructure law, so we can follow up on that, Congressman.
Okay. The 2022 WRDA included a monitoring and assessment program for salting lakes like the Great Salt Lake and the Great Basin. What is the current status of that program?
I think that's one of the authorities that exists that we're trying to figure out how to best use that authority, and the planning process is how we're going to get to that. I know we don't have any resources specifically allocated for that study yet, so that's kind of a next phase of this whole effort.
Okay. I'd like to do this. I'd like to make sure our team is in touch with you guys. The Utah delegation would love to be part of this conversation, and I think we're innovative enough to impact the rest of the country. We can figure it out. So we look forward to working with that. And with that, I yield back. Thank you.